Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of Pokémon Generation 1. In the last episode, we made it through Mount Moon and encountered Jesse and James in Pokémon Yellow, which is the best thing they added to Pokémon Yellow. This time, we're going to be heading down Route 4 to Cerulean City. This road is very different in Pokémon Heart Gold and Soul Silver specifically. If you aren't aware, those games do take place in their own region, however, they allow you to travel back to Kanto after you beat the game, essentially. And this route, in Heart Gold Soul Silver specifically, goes very sharply downhill, just to make it seem like you're going down the mountain. And to be completely honest, I think it looks awful, but I do kind of associate this route with just going down the mountain as a result. And it feels kind of rewarding because there's barely any tall grass until, as you can see, the very end of the route. I believe the TM we picked up here is a very good one that there's one Pokemon I will recommend you never... No, never mind. This isn't the one I thought. Okay, this is Whirlwind. This move is pretty worthless. It basically makes it so you can escape a wild encounter. I said in an earlier bio that you can force opponents to switch out with this. That is not true. You cannot do that. That only occurs in future generations. In Generation 1, it's just a second run button that's worse because the actual run button has priority. This one, you still have a chance of taking a hit before you escape, and most of the Pokemon that learn Whirlwind are fast enough that the run button would work on almost anything anyways. So, yeah, pretty bad TM there. Now, we could head right into Cerulean City now. We are at the end of the route. But there is one new encounter here per game, and I actually want to pick up 2 of them because we're going to be showing them. So, yeah, let's go over those now while I try to catch them. In Red version only, Ekans. If I were to use one word to describe Ekans, it would be underwhelming. It's our first pure poison type in the game, and its stats are absolutely horrendous. The only Poison-type move it's going to be using for a very long time is Poison Sting, which only has 15 power, and the only other draw is that it has Glare, a worse version of Thunder Wave, in combination with Wrap. Wrap is what is known as a partial trapping move. If selected, the user will be locked into using the move for 2 to 5 turns, and the target will be completely immobilized. The move has extremely low power, but if the user is faster than the target because of, say, the target being paralyzed, it can go on for a very long time, and even until the opponent has fainted. This strategy is extremely slow and tedious, and relies on a move to paralyze the opponent that only has 75 accuracy. But, I mean, it's something. Ekans does also get some great moves through the use of TMs, but you'd most likely rather use every single one of those TMs on a better Pokemon. In Blue version, we ended up getting lucky. Sandshrew is just straight up underrated. It gets access to moves to buff its own already pretty decent attack stat, early access to Slash, a powerful normal type move that has a greatly increased chance of landing a critical hit, the option to try and poison opponents with Poison Sting if you're feeling lucky, and to make it even better, we're already close to a point where we're going to be getting a TM for a 100 power ground type move. Sandshrew is just great, even now before it evolves, and that's why I'm happy to say that Sandshrew is the second permanent member of the team. As I said in that bio, Sandshrew is the newest member of the team, and yeah, I did accidentally run away from one, so I do still need to catch a second one, because I need to catch 2 of them, because there's a version exclusive here, but hey, we caught one at least. As for a nickname, I hope the one I had an idea of will actually fit. Annabelle. This is a reference to a villager in Animal Crossing. She's an anteater, but she's designed to look like a pangolin, which is the animal Sandshrew is based on, despite the Pokédex saying Sandshrew is a mouse. There is also just an Animal Crossing villager named Pongo, which is named after a pangolin, but she's not designed to look like a pangolin, so I decided Annabelle would be better. Annabelle was transferred to someone's PC, because we have a full party. I'm gonna cut ahead to when I catch a second one because it took too long to catch even one. I caught a second one in the last Pokeball I have. That was lucky. Alright, Heading on, finally. Oh, the blue is so nice on the Super Game Boy for this. I absolutely love this shade of blue. It's awesome. We are in Cerulean City, but we're gonna start by heading straight to the Pokémon Center because, we took a bit of a beating in Mount Moon. Although Clefairy is the only Pokemon that's visibly hurt, and that's just because I tried to catch it, but still. Gonna go ahead and withdraw both Sandshrew and Annabelle from the PC real quick, and I know the audio quality just changed drastically, trust me. You don't want to have to listen to what I have to listen to right now. Because this is going to be our first instance of trading. We're gonna do this before we even bother looking at Annabelle's stats. Before we link, we have to save the game. Okay, hopefully this recording comes out. And, over here, we're doing the same thing in Pokémon Red version. We are going to go to the Trade Center. And, now that we're here, the music that plays in here is from a much later city. I can barely hear it because the game sounds... Trust me, you're lucky that I'm adding the audio in post here. Just a moment. And if we interact over here... I would like to thank Astrid News VA for playing through the entirety of Pokémon Red in a single day to catch all of the version exclusives and then sending me the save file. Because... wow. That's a lot. Just to complete the Pokédex. And it would have added a 4th game I had to play through to this LP. 5th if you count Pokémon Stadium. Now... it doesn't display nicknames here, so I am not sure which Sandshrew is the right one. So... well, actually no, it lets you check, okay. Yeah, this one's Annabelle, so we're trading this one. And, over in Pokémon Red, we're trading this Ekans at level 10. This sprite looks so funny. I wish Ekans was a better Pokemon, he's so silly looking. Ekans and Sandshrew will be traded. Sounds good to me. There goes Sandshrew. Goodbye, friend. Sandshrew went to Astrid. For Winter Sandshrew, Astrid sends Ekans. Astrid waves farewell as Ekans is transferred. And we received an Ekans. Take good care of Ekans. It will live a fantastic life in the PC box. Trade completed. Obviously, there is more to multiplayer in this game. We can obviously do battles as well, and that's honestly it for the multiplayer in this particular game, so yeah. It's sort of simple, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. So because of how frankly awful it is to have to trade on emulator with 2 windows blaring different music at different times into my eardrums, I think for the sake of everybody, I am going to do the majority of version-exclusive trading off-screen. Also partially because this recording has already gone on 18 minutes and we have probably 5 minutes of video so far in the final edit, but yeah. I think it would be best for everybody if that's the way I ended up doing things. Now, let's take a look at Annabelle. She is asleep, so we need to heal. That attack and defense stat is gonna be so helpful, and by the way, while we're talking about team members, I went ahead and checked our Pokemon's IVs and PK hacks, which IVs are a little bit complicated in Generation 1, and I'm not gonna go into, like, detail on how those work, at least not yet. But I do want to say that Margarine has perfect IVs in 3 stats, a near perfect IV in 1 stat, and if the 1 stat that was an almost 0, that is 0, had an odd number as an IV, we would have 4 perfect IVs on Margarine. Heket's stats are just bad all across the board, but Margarine ain't bad, even if it's 1 stat that's at 0 is the most important one. Other than speed, Margarine is still pretty good at spreading status, but yeah, it's complicated. What do you have to say? Bill has lots of Pokemon. He collects rare ones, too. So do I. I have Ekans in this game. Have you heard about Bill? Everyone calls him a Pokemaniac. I think people are just jealous of Bill, though. Who wouldn't want to boast about their Pokemon? I know a dude just south of here who would love your attitude, dude. This guy keeps blocking the PC. That Bill! I heard that he'll do whatever it takes to get rare Pokemon. So will I, even listen to 2 windows of this game at the same time. So, we're in Cerulean City, which means we have an entire new place to explore. That bush in front of the shop is in the way. There might be a way around. Well, I guess I should go south and check out what bush he's talking about. He said the Pokédex sounds amusing, which makes him sound very pretentious. As he said, this bush is blocking the way. If you were to trade a Pokemon with Cut from a different save file, you would be able to sequence break and get to a different place earlier, but we're not gonna do that. Grass and caves, handled easily. Bike shop. That's not entirely true, that's false advertising. Hello. Hi, welcome to our bike shop, and we got just the bike for you! It's a cool bike, do you want it? If you press B here, and then talk to anyone else, we now have instant text speed. Pressing B on this specific dialogue box is the only way to achieve this. He sells a bicycle for $1 million Pokédollars. We cannot hold that much money. So, yeah, we're going to be ignoring him for now. But I will keep the instant text speed, that's not bad. A plain city bike is good enough for me. You can't put a shopping basket on an MTB. A mountain bike? I gotta be honest, I don't know my bike lingo, so... This house. Old lady. My husband likes trading Pokemon. If you're a collector, would you please trade with him? And the old man. Hello there, do you want to trade your Poliwhirl for Jinx? I do not have a Poliwhirl, and I do not need a Jinx. In Pokemon Yellow, however, this house is completely different. This house is very different, and Oddish and Sandshrew get unique sprites in Pokemon Yellow. Picky, that is what you would say. Baba Zor! Going very close to what it actually says in the anime. I take care of injured Pokemon. I nurse this Bulbasaur back to health. It needs a good trainer to take care of it now. So, that sounds like she wants to give it to us, but if we look at Pikachu... Pikachu is not our biggest fan right now. She will let you take this Bulbasaur, but only if Pikachu's friendship value is high enough. So, how do we raise Pikachu's friendship? We haven't talked about this yet. Pikachu's friendship is a value from 0 to 255 determined by your actions towards it. Pikachu starts with low happiness, though I can't find an exact value for what it starts with. You can check what Pikachu's happiness is at any time by turning around and talking to it. There are several ways to increase and decrease Pikachu's happiness, though the amount of points you earn by doing so will drop depending on how much Pikachu currently has. Using an item will raise happiness by 5, 3, or 2 points, depending on if Pikachu is from 0 to 99, 100 to 199, or 200 to 255. Leveling it up will do the same values, 5, 3, or 2. Being used in a gym battle at all will increase it by 3, 2, or 1. Being placed in the PC will decrease it by 3, 3, or 5. Fainting in battle will decrease it by 1, no matter what it's at, and being traded away, no matter what, will reduce Pikachu's happiness to 0. Pikachu has several emotions he can display depending on his current happiness level. The happiness-based ones also have slight variations depending on his mood, but that's a lot more complicated. Pikachu also has various unique expressions based on actions you take as a player. The main example so far would be that Pikachu will look extremely sad when he's at low HP, he will fall asleep after hearing Jigglypuff sing at the Pokémon Center in Pewter City, or if he has the sleep status effect, cheering after catching any wild Pokémon, and shuddering if he is poisoned or burned. I'll talk about any other special ones as they come up. Now, Pikachu needs to have a friendship value of 146 or more in order to obtain Bulbasaur in Pokémon Yellow. I will say, this is literally the only thing in the game that's affected by how much happiness Pikachu has, so if you don't want Bulbasaur, you don't need to worry about this. But do you want to know the easiest way to increase Pikachu's friendship? Spam potions while he's at full health. Yeah. This is genuinely just the fastest way to do it. Using any items at all will do, regardless of whether they're doing anything, and you won't run out of potions because they aren't used up if they have no effect. I'll cut ahead to when Pikachu is at probably max happiness because it would be funny. If we check Pikachu now... Wow, Pikachu! I love you too, man. You're like my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon, but also you hated me, like, less than 5 minutes ago. I take care of injured Pokemon. I nurse this Bulbasaur back to health. It needs a good trainer to take care of it now. I know. Would you take care of this Bulbasaur? We'll say yes, of course. And Red got Bulbasaur. Red isn't nicknaming his Pokemon. Red is a boring guy. So, Bulbasaur. It'll be received at level 10 knowing the moves Tackle, Growl, and Leech Seed. And this is where I'll go over Ivysaur's bio. I know it's a weird place, but trust the process. Ivysaur is pretty much more of the same from Bulbasaur. Its stats have increased with evolution, but otherwise it's just a stronger version of Bulbasaur. It'll learn Poison Powder at level 22, a precursor to the immense power it will get later on in the journey. Poison Powder and Leech Seed combine to deal devastating amounts of damage per turn to opponents, and overall are the strategy Ivysaur is going to be most useful for until level 30 when it learns Razor Leaf. We'll talk about that when we get to it, though. Anyway, back to blue version. We're gonna head south near the bike shop, but a different building. The Pokémart. Hi there, may I help you? He sells Pokeballs, potions, repels, antidotes, burn heals, awakenings, paralyze heals. They're selling one new item here. Repels. These prevent wild Pokemon under the level of the leading Pokemon in your party from appearing for 100 steps. Wish they would have given this to me before Mount Moon, but yeah, I will gladly take like 5 of those. That's easily worth half of my money. And the rest I need to spend on Pokeballs because I ran out. It'll be nice when money is no longer an issue. And I realize that my instant text speed is gone. I want it back. Alright. Sorry, I just need that instant text speed for a little bit. Okay, Slowbro, use Sonic Boom! Come on, Slowbro, pay attention! Slowbro is loafing around. I think part of your issue might be that Slowbro cannot learn Sonic Boom. But don't quote me on that. We're gonna head north next. Not into the gym, because we are not at all prepared to take on the gym with a level 6 Sandshrew, but even norther than here. To this house. Is this the right one? It might be. Pokemon badges are owned only by skilled trainers. I see you have at least one. Those badges have amazing secrets. Now then, which of the 8 badges should I describe? He will tell you the effects of any of the badges in the game, and what levels of traded Pokemon they'll make obey you. Every stat boost from a badge increases the associated stat to 112.5% their normal value. There's more to this because of a glitch, but we'll talk about that later. Otherwise, Boulder Badge, the attack of all Pokemon increases a little bit. It also lets you use Flash anytime you desire. Now then. He will describe any of them, including the ones we don't have, but I'd rather let the gym leaders explain them as we collect them. If we head back here, somewhere around here there is a hidden item that is worth picking up. Okay, I found it. On this tile, there is a hidden rare candy. We've already talked about those, they're good, but I recommend saving them. Next, we're gonna head over here. There's a police officer blocking the door. The people here were robbed. It's obvious that Team Rocket is behind this most heinous crime. Even our police force has trouble with the rockets. I mean, we can't find him. Where could he possibly be? So yeah, we can see the culprit, but we can't go back there to confront him because the police are being as ineffective as usual. Did I heal after checking Annabelle? I did, okay. I just wanted to make sure because we have a battle coming up, as you may have guessed. Also in Pokemon Yellow, that police officer is a woman to reference Officer Jenny from the anime. It's much more noticeable in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which are remakes of Pokemon Yellow. I am gonna be leading with Annabelle here, I think. I'm gonna want to do a little bit of switch training just to make sure she's, you know, cut out to do any fighting at all. Heading north. Yo, Winter! You're still struggling along back here? I'm doing great. I caught a bunch of strong and smart Pokemon. Here, let me see what you caught, Winter. Yet another fight against Aiden. He's going to lead with Pidgeotto, level 18, normal flying type, knowing the moves Gust, Sand Attack, and Quick Attack. Yeah, still no flying type moves, so I'm not that worried about it. Like, I can easily switch into my other Pokemon. If this thing did have any flying type moves, we would be screwed. We would not stand a chance against his team. I think I'm gonna start by using... probably Stun Spore, honestly. This thing's a little bit fast, and I don't want it to be a status that he can easily recover. And now we just spam Confusion. That should probably be enough. I really wish Pidgeotto was better in this game. It's genuinely one of my favorite Route 1 normal types. Something about it, probably the anime, made me just really love Pidgeotto. I also have memories of finding the 1% Pidgeotto in Viridian Forest in Pokemon Yellow as a kid. And while you don't really get anything out of getting Pidgeotto early, because the first gym is a Rock-type gym, it's still a cool memory. Annabelle grew to level 7. Abra. Abra is level 15, Psychic type, knowing Teleport. This Abra literally can't attack, so if you have a Pokemon that needs to gain levels, just let it do the fighting here. This Abra can't do damage, it can't lower your stats, it can't do anything. Teleport is a field move, or a move that has an effect in wild battles, but it just can't do anything in a trainer battle. Good critical hit, Annabelle, considering your speed stat is as bad as it is. Scratch doesn't have an increased rate or anything, so I'll take it. Teleport. What a shock. I said that as if that was something new, but no, that's all you can do. Nice try, Abra. Or Abra, as I call you when I'm feeling a little silly. Abra fainted. Annabelle grew to level 8. I'm gaining lots of levels from this fight. Rattata. This Rattata is level 15, normal type, knowing the moves Tackle, Tail Whip, Quick Attack, and Hyper Fang. Once again, that Hyper Fang is scary. This isn't as scary as the Raticate in Mount Moon, but it's still scary, and that might honestly knock out. It didn't, but it was close. Maybe Sleep Powder? And it missed. Whenever a move says it failed, it's most likely just that it missed, not that it doesn't affect the Pokemon. Sometimes it will also say it doesn't affect the Pokemon. In Generation 1, all of those mean pretty much the exact same thing, so yeah. Honestly, Margarine, you're still kicking ass even when you're making the sound in the game very annoying with your beeping. Charmander is level 17, Fire type, knowing the move Scratch, Growlithe, Ember, and Leer. Now it can lower our attack and our defense, which is exactly what made Pidgey so scary on Route 22, so hopefully Hicket can handle this after evolving. I know his Charmander is going to do good damage with Ember, but I'm hoping that the fact that our Pokemon has evolved is enough to, like, sort of make up the difference here. Also hoping Leech Seed kind of serves as a buffer to help deal some damage to this thing. I don't really have a great answer to this Charmander, so I just gotta hope for the best here. Oh, wow, Hicket, you're actually doing great. Hicket hasn't really had a chance to battle much lately, just because Margarine has been kicking ass so much. The spreading of statuses is part of Hicket's big thing too, but Hicket just hasn't learned any of those moves yet. Margarine grew to level 19. No new moves there. And Taket didn't level up. Hey, take it easy! You won already! Hey, guess what? I went to Bill's and got him to show me his rare Pokémon. That added a lot of pages to my Pokédex. After all, Bill's world famous as a Pokemaniac. He invented the Pokemon storage system on PC. Since you're using his system, go thank him. Well, I better get rolling. Smell you later. And of course, in Pokemon Yellow, Red has to battle Blue here as well. Yo, Red! You're still struggling along back here? I'm doing great. I caught a bunch of strong and smart Pokemon. Here, let me see what you caught, Red. Blue wants to fight. And leads with Spearow. Level 18, normal flying type, knowing the moves Peck, Growl, Leer, and Fury Attack. We're just gonna switch right into Pikachu. I think that's a pretty obvious decision. It's really unfortunate that they gave him the better bird Pokemon in the game where you have a starter that sort of just bodies it. If Fury Attack doesn't hit 5 times, please don't knock out Pikachu, thank you! Okay, Fury Attack can hit 1 to 5 times. If it hits all 5, it can actually be pretty devastating. Especially if the first hit is a critical hit, because if that happens, every hit will be a critical hit. Luckily, we were able to take that out pretty easily. Sandshrew is level 15, ground type, knowing the moves Scratch and Sand Attack. About as intimidating as Abra, but slightly more. I mean, at least this one can do damage and lower your stats. That's more than Aiden's Abra can say. But also, I think Abra's probably a better investment. Like, that's kind of an insult to Annabelle, but I'm sure I'll come to regret that in the near future. Just gonna have Bulbasaur Leech Seed here and then switch into Nidoking for Water Gun. I should have just switched into Nidoking pretty much immediately after getting the experience for Bulbasaur, but I forgot Nidoking had Water Gun. Because Nidoking definitely needs that Leech Seed. This should probably one-shot. Oh, not quite, okay. Maybe I do have more to look forward to with Annabelle than I thought. But Leech Seed makes up the difference. Bulbasaur grew to level 11. No level for the starter in either battle. Rattata is level 15, normal type, knowing the moves Tackle, Tail Whip, Quick Attack, and Hyper Fang. This is exactly the same as his Rattata in Pokemon Red and Blue. And we don't even need to hit twice with Double Kick to knock it out. Eevee is level 17, normal type, knowing the moves Tackle, Tail Whip, Growl, and Sand Attack. This thing can lower 3 of your stats, which can be annoying if you don't have Nidoking. There's a reason Nidoking is used in speedruns of these games. It's just that good. And Nidoking grew to level 20 because he definitely needs to be the strongest party member. Hey, take it easy! You won already! Hey, guess what? I went to Bill's and got him to show me his rare Pokémon. That added a lot of pages to my Pokédex. After all, Bill's world famous as a Pokemaniac. He invented the Pokemon storage system on PC. Since you're using his system, go thank him. Well, I better get rolling. Smell you later. Okay. And with that done, we're just gonna head right back to the Pokemon Center because we need to heal up after that. With all that done, I think that's where we're gonna end things off here. Next time on Pokemon Generation 1, we're going to explore more of the areas around Cerulean City in preparation for our next gym battle. See you guys then.